So my parents left Vienna after the Second World War because the place was decimated. And they came to Canada, where I was born. And I guess one of the things I think as a Canadian is that you really do have the outdoors in your blood. And it becomes natural. This is what you do. And I think that provides you with a different perspective on the world. So anyways, I got to spend time in some very cool places up in Canada. But my goal here is not to tell you so much about my outdoor experiences as it is to help you understand that having lived in the backwoods of Quebec, when I left Ryanville, Quebec, the population went down by 10%. And so I traveled down into southern Ontario, started in mathematics and computer science, moved over to philosophy when I went out to British Columbia. I actually have 4 separate philosophy degrees, 2 master's degrees and an undergrad. And then I went into management, specifically organization behavior, entrepreneurship, strategy, and specialized in conflict and negotiation. And that's the perspective I bring to the class. And I hope you understand that I have a lot to bring and that I can help you learn a lot about human beings and how we function. And especially and specifically how we function in organizations. And you'll notice I'm not specifically saying business because I think I want you to think both in terms of profit and not-for-profit. I think of it in terms of an organization that you're working with. And how we function in those organizations is very similar if it's for business or not-for-profit. Where things differ, of course, is how you market, how you develop products, how you start businesses, the kinds of strategies you develop. And human beings, though, have a lot of similarities. So like I said, my job, as I see it, is to help you understand more about people, because I know you're bringing a lot of understanding about people, and I'm going to work very hard to help you see and learn about different aspects of people that you might not have considered before, and specifically how we interact. And finally, I'm going to look at some ethics questions. And of course, with 4 degrees in philosophy, ethics is a passion of mine. And I could have gone more into things like philosophy of mind or ontology, which is what is reality. Although I seem to recall I did a lot of that when I was sitting around campfires as a kid, because, well, you know what it's like, right? But I'm going to focus on some key ethical questions and how to deal with ethical issues, because in the outdoor industry, I think you're going to find yourself dealing with more and more ethical questions. Went down to Denver and up the Kenosha Pass yesterday. It was like being at a rock concert, and the road, both sides, was completely covered in parking, and people were walking literally for a mile to get onto the Colorado Trail. And I can just imagine how busy the trail was and how many people you ran into. I mean, is that an outdoor experience? Well, of course, because you're outdoors, but it's certainly super small wilderness experience. And I think one of the questions the outdoor industry has to ask itself is, what are we going to do about that? As outdoor industry organizations, how are we going to manage that? Do we have some kind of a duty of care to the environment to produce less so that people are discouraged from going on those trails? I think on the face of it, most people are going to say the answer is, well, no, we want more people out there. And at the same time, I think a question we need to ask ourselves is, well, if we encourage people to go to the outdoors and walk on the Colorado Trail, and it gets crunched up, and so does the whole area there, and animals get scared away, and the terrain through there gets decimated, well, what's our duty? And those are an ethical consideration. That's beyond a value question, but we're going to look at that later in the term. Anyways, you've heard enough from me for now, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you and working with you, and I think we're going to have a great term, and I think you're going to find that I have a lot to offer to you.